everyone. I'm Tiffany Nielsen, host of Industry Insights webinars by IoT Marketing. And I'm inviting you to join us on Thursday, November 12th and 19th for our two-part Smart Cities special edition. And to kick things off, we have our Simple IoT for Smart Cities, and we have a special guest, Bill Pugh, who is joining us. He's got 25 years experience and has over 40 smart cities that he's worked on. That's 40 different cities. It's unbelievable. And we've got him giving us some expert advice. So without further ado, here's Bill Pugh, Smart Connections Consulting. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany Nielsen with Industry Insights webinars, and I'm here today with Bill Pugh. And he has over 25 years experience in wireless and smart cities. Bill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm looking very forward to Bill joining us for our webinar on Thursday, November 12th. You don't want to miss our discussion about smart cities and what's going on in driving transformation. So, Bill, let's talk about smart grids because we've got a lot of material to cover during the actual webinar, and I know that this is a subject matter that you're an expert in. So tell us a little bit about how the smart grid plays in with smart cities.
Well, you know, we pay a lot of attention to what's happening in the city, the data collection, the traffic, the environment, and everything of that nature. However, if you lose power, what do you have? You have nothing. You have panic. You have misinformation. It truly is an inflection point right now that you truly cannot have a smart city without having a smart grid. So you need awareness, you need that level of insight, and you need the utilities and the cities partnering together to deliver, all of the value added services for the citizens.
And so if a rolling blackout would occur and there's a city that's super reliant upon the data that's coming from these different IoT devices that are out there, telling them whether or not something's operational, what would that do as far as our utilities and everything else that we rely on so heavily?
Well, I mean, I think it's a level of coordination. You'll see, in a lot of instances, the schools have solar on the parking lots, and there's a lot of distributed energy resources that are being deployed within the city landscape. Tying those together in terms of the distributed energy resources, the utility, and the city's operations would help tremendously, especially if you tie in storage. So all of this solar and other, distributed energy resources actually storing their energy during a time of outage can actually put that energy back and keep these establishments up and running. So, I mean, I think there's a level of coordination, a level of policy, a level of management that needs to happen right during the conversations that we're having about building smart cities.
You talked a lot about standards and different standards for smart cities. Let's go ahead and maybe take a few minutes to expand on that while we can share and just kind of inform people of what those standards look like. Are they there? Do they need to be formed? And are they pretty much the same across the country, the world? How does that work, Bill?
There's a significant gap in standards, depending on what layer we're looking at. If you're actually looking at an operational system, layers 1 through 3 being the transport, media, access control, and routing, those are all communication standards. But when you start looking at a solution for a smart city, there are missing standards. When we start talking about autonomous vehicles, what is the standard for a vehicle communicating to infrastructure? When we start talking about vehicle-to-vehicle communication, what standard is that? There's a lot of consortiums now that are working towards establishing those standards, but right now the technology is ahead of the standards. And then once you actually have a standard, implementation of that standard, governance of that standard, all of those things need to take place. So right now tech is leading and standards are slow to be delivered.
And are all those standards going to change when 5G comes into play?
I don't think so. I think 5G will have to fit into those standards. While the standards are being developed and considered, 5G is a transport. So it has to find its way in, and the standards need to support just about all communication technologies.
And within smart cities, you still have to have your education piece. And I believe you're in a pretty unique collaboration with distance learning. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Absolutely. So the county of San Mateo is very forward looking when it comes to securing underserved communities and their ability to distance learn. Being that the pandemic kind of brought us to this point, and the realization that there's a large number of underserved communities, a large number of households that just did not have connectivity. County of San Mateo put it out there and said, "Hey, let's go get East Palo Alto connected." And I worked with one of the project managers there, Benny Lee, and John Waltons, the CIO, and they turned it up. Now, the interesting part about that was leveraging CBRS as a go-between between the fiber and the Wi-Fi. But significant movement there, and I'm extremely excited about what the future holds for leveraging those technologies to provide solutions for underserved communities.
Well, I think that's especially important considering the pandemic, and that we don't know that we're out of the woods yet with the pandemic. So we don't know how long we're going to have to distance learn for. So I think it's very relevant. Exactly. And then as far as the tips that we have for people implementing a smart city strategy, what is something that they should probably avoid when doing their urban planning?
Well, one of the first things that any city that I work with is, let's not talk the technology. Avoid deciding on technology and really focus on what the pain points of the city are, and what is it that you're trying to deliver to the citizens, as well as create operational efficiency for the city itself. Start with the problem. The technologies are available to solve those problems.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Bill. And if they want more information, I know they can reach you at smartconnections.io, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. And that's Bill Pugh, everyone. So thank you so much for taking a few minutes and sharing that wisdom with us. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday, November 12th. Join us. Register now. Smart City.
Thanks a lot. Can't wait.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany Nielsen, host and moderator for Industry Insights webinars. And I'm inviting you to join us on Thursday, November the 12th for part one of our two-part Smart Cities special edition. We've got some excellent speakers joining us for an expert panel discussing the objectives, challenges, technologies, and trends that are driving Industry 4.0 across smart cities around the world. And so part one will focus on the different trends. We're going to give you some strategies. We're going to tell you what's going on, what sensors are being used, kind of how it all works. And then in part two, we're going to look at it from a global perspective. So you don't want to miss this two-part Smart City special edition. And that is Thursday, November 12th. So register now. We look forward to seeing you at the webinar. Thank you. As more people move to urban communities, the need for data-driven strategies is realized. The benefits of making a city smart include the ability to control traffic, monitor pollution, and improve energy efficiency. Sensors can communicate the performance and quality of roads, infrastructure, and the environment, making cities better equipped to prevent costly damage by receiving early notice of hazardous or dangerous conditions. The smart cities of the future aim to increase safety, cleanliness, and sustainability through remote monitoring, big data, and predictive analytics. To learn more about how to successfully plan and implement a smart city strategy, as well as what impact smart cities will have on our future, attend Industry Insights webinar, Simple IoT for Smart Cities. Register now.